Hey everyone, this is Jim Benson, the Viking Hobbit, coming to you from my house. It is 3 o'clock in the morning because I'm off work tonight. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm bored as shit. So I'm just going to do a podcast. Yeah, just sitting here with me and my babies, my sugar gliders. If y'all don't know, I have 5 sugar gliders. There's Luna, Icarus, Mowgli, Blue, and Rufus. Those are my babies. But yeah, we just chilling out tonight. They got the lights out, so they out playing, moving around. I fed them earlier, and still feeling pretty high and pretty jacked up from watching. We went and watched the Avengers earlier tonight. Me and Shane and Big Joe and my brother, and had a pretty good time. That movie's off the chain. I'll tell you what, I haven't had a movie like that or hit me that hard in a while. That just barely any time for slow moments. It's just slam packed full of action, a lot of humor, and I like how they mixed the humor ratio with the action. It wasn't too much, because I watched Thor Ragnarok before, and to me it had a little bit too much humor into it. I mean, it was good and everything, but like with the Hulk, they put a little too much into it, and it kind of come off as goofy and stuff, even though I like goofy because I am goofy. But I don't know, just a little bit too much. I think they could have dialed it back a little bit. But yeah, the Avengers Infinity War, man, that good movie. I tell you what, Thanos, that's a bad dude, man, a bad purple dude. He's strong as hell. I tell you what, if you can make the Hulk scared or beat the hell out of the Hulk, make him scared to want to come out the rest of the movie and not want to fight or help or anything like that, you a bad man. I can tell you that. It was interesting to see, and that's within the first 5 minutes of the movie. Just bam, bam, bam. It just hit hard. It picked up. It actually kind of picked up where Thor Ragnarok left off a little bit, and went from there. This first time for me actually seeing Doctor Strange. I never did watch the Doctor Strange movie, but I thought he was a really cool character. He very interesting with all the wizard stuff and the spells, and then because he had the time stone, he could open up time portals and transport and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty cool, and actually he's a pretty bad dude because he actually held up on his own against Thanos, did pretty well. I mean, even though they were all ganging up on him, but even when there was a chance of him going one-on-one and stuff with Thanos, turned out pretty good, and pretty good fight. I tell you what. And then Spider-Man, that I tell you what, the actor, to me personally, the actor they got playing Spider-Man now, the young kid, I actually like him better than Tobey Maguire. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Spider-Man's supposed to be a high school kid. The kid playing him now, he is a kid, and he acts like it, but he's got great personality, and I think he brings a lot to the table as far as the Spider-Man character. And he does. He's pretty damn funny too. Does good in the movie. I watched him. I never did watch the Spider-Man Homecoming. I never did watch that. I need to catch up on that one. I did see him in, I think it was Civil War, Captain America Civil War. I think they introduced him in that one, or either they had him. I can't remember which one come first. But anyway, thought he did a real good job in that. It's pretty funny. It's real funny in this one, especially with him and the Iron Man going back and forth. Spitting and spatting and stuff like that, and then I can tell he kind of looks up to Tony Stark as like a mentor, especially with all the technology and stuff like that. But I tell you what, he had a pretty darn good scene right there at the end when everybody was fading away like dust in the wind, dust in the wind. But yeah, he was talking about he hit that I don't want to die moment and stuff like that. I said, tell you what, that shit hit pretty hard. I'm like, but and I read somewhere that he actually ad-libbed that. So I mean, as they filmed it, so I thought that was pretty cool. So he definitely brought a lot to that. Pretty cool. Black Panther. Of course, the Black Panther movie come out not too long ago, and it made like $80 trillion in the theater. I think it did domestically. It topped out Titanic as a third highest grossing movie of all time domestically, and did pretty well worldwide too. But yeah, that I never did see it, but I saw him in Civil War also. They introduced him in Civil War. Thought he'd bring a different element to the table. Actually, I dig his suit. His suit's pretty cool. I think he brings a different element to the table. And for this one, we was talking about earlier. After the movie was over, we were talking about it's very because they shoot a lot of it in his home place of, I think they call it Wakanda. Everything's very tribal and stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. They have all this technology, but they actually still use like primitive weapons and like spears and swords and stuff like that. But actually use but put their technology into that stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. Like their shields, when they hit their shields, it was like a force field. Oh, and also like their city, the whole city had like a force field around it. So when Thanos' people were coming in and trying to take him out, like some of them was coming in like during comets and stuff, and they hit the force field and just disintegrate. And it was a pretty strong force field and everything. And I thought it was pretty cool. And of course, they were there trying to take the stone out of Vision and trying to that way they could destroy it and everything before Thanos got there, so he wouldn't collect all 6 stones. Scarlet Witch, she was one. I think wasn't she in Age of Ultron? Yeah. I like her character. It's different. She actually, I didn't realize as powerful she was until she went up against Thanos herself some, and Thanos' henchmen and stuff like that. She did very well. And then right there at the end, she actually hit, she was trying to basically destroy Vision and the stone before Thanos could get to it. And while she was doing that, Thanos was coming at her, and then boom, she's hitting a little wavy wave thing with her hand on Thanos and actually holding him back. And actually held him back long enough so he could, she could destroy the stone and everything. So that was pretty interesting to me. And also, it's pretty cool to know that also she's Magneto's daughter. Her and Quicksilver, of course. So that that strong bloodline, the genes hit pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And also Thor. Thor's my guy. He's pretty badass, I can say that. He's coming off of right there at the beginning of the movie starts with like Thanos attacking the ship that Thor and Loki's on when they're leaving from the movie Thor Ragnarok, when they're leaving Asgard. It basically starts out with them fighting on that ship, and Thanos taking over the ship, taking the Tesseract and the stone from it, and basically kicking Thor's ass right there. He kicked Thor's ass, he kicked Hulk's ass, and he tearing up Loki. And I tell you what, one thing that Shane brought up that I thought was pretty cool was he's talking, Loki was trying to trick him pretty much because he's got he's a trickster, but went to try to kill him. Of course, Thanos caught it and everything, and then had him by the neck. Right before Thanos killed him, he was like, you can have all this power, but you'll never be a god, and that hit pretty hard. And we ain't sure if Thanos actually caught that or not, but to me that and Shane, that was a pretty hard hitting line right there that he could have said. It's like you can have all this power in the world, but you'll never be me. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I tell you what. Thanos, we got talking about this after the movie too. Thanos is damn jacked, son. He might have been. I'm sure he's been doing the conjugate system because he's strong as shit and he's jacked. We were talking about when he was walking, the way he walked with a strut because he knew he was the shit. And also we like just the way his tricep was shaped up, man. He's been doing some tricep pushdowns, I can tell you that. Especially with that Power Stone. He probably do a tricep push down with like 80 billion pounds on a cable machine if they have something to hold that. But yeah, he's pretty jacked guy, and actually, he's not as tall as the Hulk. The Hulk was a little bit taller, but I mean, his fighting skills were pretty good, and I mean, Hulk took him down for a second up front, but once he regained his composure, he pretty much took Hulk to school. So I mean, that was done, son, and with all that. But yeah, and then Thanos was Hitchman, his main peoples. Had the big guy. He was pretty strong, and with the horns and everything. I think he had horns, but he kind of reminded me of what's the guy off the Justice League? Even I know it's two different things, but Steppenwolf. He kind of reminded me of that a little bit. So, but that dude, and then they had like a skinny wizard-looking guy, I guess you could say. He was pretty damn strong. He had a lot of magic, and then I mean strength-wise, as far as magic goes. But like I know at the beginning at the movie, it was Iron Man and Doctor Strange. They were trying to take him out, and they just throw something at him, and he just flick his finger and like, and I mean he basically knock out whatever they were throwing at him and stuff. So and he was pretty cool. He was interesting. He actually, for some reason, when I saw him, I actually thought, I don't know if y'all have ever seen Hellboy 2, the Golden Army, the real pale people. He kind of reminded me of like he could have been their grandfather or something like that, their ancestors or something. But I thought it was pretty cool. And then the chick, he had some type of, she was like, I don't know. We don't know if there was just henchmen or his actual like family or whatever. But anyway, they had a girl, a henchman too, or henchwoman, I guess you could say, politically correct these days. She was pretty badass. She had a moment right there when I was fighting in Wakanda, where it's her, Black Widow, and Scarlet Witch, and then I can't think of the main lady from the Black Panther side. I can't remember her name, but all of them were they had their little women's match and whatever, and then they ganged up on her, and she was holding her on there for a minute. I'll tell you that. She did pretty good, and then right there at the end, Scarlet Witch picked her up and they hit her one of them little spinny thingies and just obliterated her. But and I tell you what, one thing me and Shane said, because we're weird as hell, but was like, man, she kind of hot too. She pretty bad. It's like, yeah, I know what she could do with me. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see. Very action-packed movie. Can't wait to see what the Avengers, I guess it'd be called Avengers 4, comes out. It'll be, I know it'll be a lot different. Me and some of the other guys were talking. One of the guys at the gym, he's a real Marvel fanatic, so he was like jumping up and down at this movie, and then getting excited about the rest of them that's coming out and all that stuff. So actually, I'm excited about it. And then of course, Disney just bought out Fox, 20th Century Fox, portions of their ownership and rights to the X-Men. I think it's Fantastic Four and Deadpool. They bought out the rights. I looked it up. They paid it. They bought it for $54 billion. That is retarded. Just for a portion of the franchise, that they had the rights, that 20th Century Fox had the rights for. That's crazy. A lot of money. I see that every day. Yeah, right. But X-Men's always been my definitely my go-to superhero group. Of course, Wolverine. He's badass. But I don't know. Just watching him growing up. And with the cartoon and everything that came on Saturday mornings, and then watching it come to life That's one thing. Actually, one thing that me and Shane was talking about earlier. How a lot of people were comic book fans, and I never was a comic book fan, but it was like for me, it was more the cartoons. I mean, I respected comic books and the fans and all that stuff, but for me, like growing up I can barely remember in the '80s, the Transformers cartoon. So I actually remember watching it. So watching that come to life on the big screen, that's awesome. I've marked out for that pretty good. Even if no matter how good or bad the movies are, to me it was just awesome. I mean, it could be a shitty ass movie, but it just watching them come to life is pretty cool. And then they're supposed to be coming out with a Bumblebee spinoff movie. It's going to have John Cena in there. You know what I mean? That'll be interesting having him in there. I think for some reason, I see him having a Mark Wahlberg-esque type character with the sense of humor and the comebacks and stuff like that. But and it already might be something different. I don't know, but that's just for some reason what I see it as. And then seeing Transformers come to life, Ninja Turtles. Even though the Ninja Turtle movies come out real early, not really big of a too much fan of the TMNT movies today with the CG Ninja Turtles. I'm more the Jim Henson puppetry. Back in the day, early '90s stuff. That's just me, because to me it's just more realistic and everything. But yeah, growing up on that was pretty cool. Watching all that stuff come to life. So, but still, mad respects to all the comic book fans, all the comic books and all that stuff. So, all that pretty cool and everything. But another thing I want to talk about. Now that I got that out of the way, I'm still finally starting to cool down from it. I talked to Devin Wiggins in the last episode, he had him actually hosted his meet last weekend, last Saturday, and down in Dublin, Georgia. I tell you what, it was pretty interesting. It was had a damn good turnout, and because I had never been down to. A guy named Mark Strickland is a buddy of ours, and definitely a good buddy of Devin and his dad's. He's trained with us a few times, done a few meets with us, bench meets with us and everything. He actually bought a gym and set it up down there in Dublin, and at first I'm like, the way Devin was talking about it, it's going to be a lot of dang people in one little room, which technically it was, because I think they had one of the rooms where I had the meeting, pretty much the biggest room, but it's one of those gyms where it ain't just a big room here, big room there. There's a bunch of small rooms put together. So you get a room here, room here, room here, and you can, even though you kind of packed, but at the same time you can be spread out. Like with the meet room is here, of course people were packed in there with the chairs and all that stuff, and then over here was basically next, of course you had the entrance and all that stuff, and then right behind the entrance, or directly through it, was pretty much their aerobics room, but it was it was basically where they had where you do the warm-ups for the meet and everything. That was set up pretty well. That was packed. I never just, because Devin asked me to judge. So I was actually one of the side judges and everything. And I tell you what about that. That's one of the few times I've judged in my life. It's been a long time since I've done it. It's actually pretty tough being a judge. If you ain't never done it before, especially if it's like a local meet or something like that, I would actually, if you can, if it's a smaller meet, and somebody they need help judging and stuff like that, I would suggest if you're a power lifter, try it out sometime. See if you can help judge. Because if you're a lifter, you know what the judge is looking for. You know what it is to be a judge. You know what breaking parallel is. Touching your chest, the commands and all that stuff. You know what to look for. But it's actually pretty cool to see it through the eyes of a judge and experience it yourself versus being a lifter. And you kind of it's pretty tough because everybody's different, everybody's built different. So it changes, and it can be tough at times, especially if you got somebody that squats real fast. You really have to pay attention to make sure you call it right and everything. And it was a pretty fun experience. I'm glad I got to do it. I'm glad I got to help out. One thing I'm glad I didn't do was help spot and load. If you ever go to a meet, I tell you what, even though if you do a competition, and especially if it could be an all-day thing, you think you work hard, which you do. I mean, all lifters work hard. You put everything on the line. By the end of the day, you're just shot. I tell you, some of the people that work just as hard as you do, probably, maybe sometimes if not more, some loaders and spotters, constantly putting weights on, putting weights off, taking weights on, taking weights off, making sure it's right, setting the height of the rack, and this and that, weights on, weights off. It's especially if the meet's using 100-pound plates or something like that. That's a lot on the body. Constantly up and down, up and down, up and down, and because you pretty much, I'd say average minute and a half. Every minute and a half, you're changing weights out and stuff like that. And with this meet, I ain't sure how many lifters were. I know there was 2 flights of squats. And then you had 3 flights of bench and deadlift because you bench only, and push-pull guys made the 3rd flight for the bench and the deadlift. So it was, I want to say, I don't know the accurate number, but I want to say it was about 40, 50 people, maybe not that much, but I'd say we're about 30 or 40 people, lifters. And then the spectators, there was easily over 100 spectators in the crowd, and it was a dang good turnout. I thought it was real well. I thought it was ran real well. I thought Devin did actually a very good job for his first time ever. I know he's really wanting to dive into this. As long as as far as definitely bringing powerlifting back to the Georgia area, especially in the middle Georgia area. Because back in the day, especially when I first started, Georgia used to be one of the hot seats for powerlifting, especially with up there with I don't know if a lot of people remember John Grove and his meet, the North Georgia Barbell. Actually, that was my first meet ever. Was up with John Grove's meet up in it used to be Woodstock, Kennesaw, not Kennesaw, but Woodstock area, Cherokee County. That my first meet ever, and that was huge that day. Seeing somebody like Big Jim Hoskins, that's probably, I think, definitely the first time in person I watched somebody squat 1,000 pounds in person, and watching him get ready for the lift, and they had ball with the ball playing, and him basically zoning out and turning into a dang robot and just vibrating up to the bar. Probably one of the coolest things I ever see. And speaking of him, he actually lifted at this competition. It's good to see him, still hanging in there, especially with all these young cats. It's cool to see the old timers like that that's been in the sport for a very long time. I've been in it 13 years, or coming on 13 years, and I'm sure I know he's been in it way longer than I have. It's cool to see him, still tough it out, hanging in there, just giving it a go, even if he ain't doing near the weight he was. He's still hanging in there, and then just hitting it when he can and stuff. So it was cool to see him. Had a lot of good lifters. I know some buddies of ours up at Marietta Barbell. Old Curtis Leslie, that was a bad dude back in the day. We known him for a long time. He was the man to beat back in the day. He's still a pretty big guy too. and he had some trouble late last year, and we're glad of health issues, but he's doing real well. I'm glad to see him back in the saddle and everything, and doing real well. They're helping out his guys and all that stuff, and they have a pretty good crew. I tell you what, they definitely got their bench game going. I give them that. They come a long way real fast, and I tell you what, watching them grow, it definitely makes me and everybody else at Dirty South. It makes us makes us want to work hard, like because they want to be the big gym in Georgia. Well, we do too. So that's gonna make us work hard. It'd be a good in-state rivalry and everything. And also from Griffin, Georgia, you had Tuck's Gym with a Pitbull team and everything. They had some guys compete real strong. And Pitbull was there. He helped out. He helped out the guys and everything. It was good seeing them. They got a good crew. And I tell you what, we had two of our own guys compete. I know you remember Nick. We call him Harambe. This was his first meet ever. He did very well. He competed raw. He actually started training to do geared, and started training in the gear and was doing pretty well, but couldn't get everything quite tweaked in right. So he decided last minute, just since he's been training raw for so long, just skip the gear, and then since the meet was coming up, just go ahead and do it raw. Done his openers in the gym, got them set right, and then went to the meet and had a hell of a day. Did real well. He's definitely one of those what we like to call a meat lifter. Zoned in, gave it his all. I think he hit of course, meat PRs and everything, but it was cool to watch him lift. Even though I was judging and everything, he did real well. Got his squats in there real good, and of course, definitely being one of our guys. I definitely ain't gonna cut him no slack. Definitely with nobody else, but it was awesome to watch him lift. And I think it was the second or third squat. He got pretty amped up and headbutted the bar, and I started laughing. I'm like, I wonder who that reminds me of. I'm like, that's my boy. But it was cool. He did real good. I'm proud of him. And other guy, Timbo, Tim Deese, he did fairly well. He got his openers in and had a little trouble having the energy to complete and everything. But he did a pretty big weight cut, and I probably messed him up a little bit. But he did pretty decent. Had a good day. And I know next time he'll come back and train hard and for the next meet, and he'll have a real good day and everything, because he's a young kid. He's definitely very enthusiastic about lifting, and so ever since he started with us, actually a few years, he's been there about four years now. Sounds about right, but he's come a long way. He's a hard-headed youngster. We'll give him that, but he gives us a hard time. But he's cool to be around. We give him hell. He gives us hell, and it's fun to have him there. So even though he didn't have the day he wanted, I'm still proud of him for going and doing it and everything. So it was cool. Also, one of the local, I think it was a local TV station. There he was doing interviews with guys, and he did interview with I know me, Shane, David Wiggins, and our trainer Joe DeVerbal. Did a interview, and then a few other people talking about the meet and what Dirty South and what we represent and where we come from and stuff like that. And I took my interview portion of the section and put it on my Instagram page. And if you want to, if you have Instagram, you can follow me at Warrior Elite 49. I have it up on there, and I think I put it up on the Dirty South Facebook page too. If you have Facebook, you can always check that out on Instagram. We also have a Dirty South Instagram page too, Dirty South Barbell. we're always posting up training videos and meet videos and stuff like that. If you ever need any ideas of how to train, how to do different kind of things, because we're always trying to make stuff up, make it fun, exciting, different, challenging for us and stuff like that. Just doing stuff, and also too, if anybody ever has any questions about training or questions about us, you can always leave a comment in the comment section. You can message us directly on our Facebook page or Instagram page or anything like that. We'll be more than happy to help anybody out and everything. And like we look, of course, lifting's our life. We love it, and we love helping people too, and love watching people grow. Especially our own guys, watching the young kids grow, do very well. Is definitely a cool experience to see and everything. And the interview, it done very well. It got a lot of praise. Got a lot of good vibes and good reactions from the interview and everything. And I thought the guy that put it together, I can't remember his name, but we put the link up. He done a very good job of putting all that together. So hats off to him for doing it and everything. And just overall, meat was a good meet. Probably one of the best meets in middle Georgia area in a very long time. And so hats off to Devin for putting that on. And definitely hope to see more in the future. And also, one day, Dirty South, we will have our own meet, the Dirty South sponsored meet. We would actually like to have one at the gym. And I know we said before, with the strongman guys that are in the gym and the Central Georgia Strongman competition that goes on, we thought about having one coincide with that one at the same time. So basically have just a overall strength sports day, and then maybe turn it into some type of expo and stuff like that. Of course not Arnold level expo level like that, but something small, build it up, and hopefully one day have something come from it. I think that'd be pretty cool. The Georgia Show of Strength or something like that. I think that'd be a good title for it. Strongman, powerlifting. Anybody who wants to have vendors and stuff like that come in and everything. I think that'd be real cool to have. Me personally, I've been training for. I got a meet coming up May 26th. This is the what time is this? This is the 4th now technically because it's 3:30 in the morning. But May 4th. Training's been going pretty good. Squat's been going. I actually do my squat opener. I'm fixing to probably once I get through with this, go to bed. I got my squat opener tomorrow to see how that's going to go with the meet. I'm actually a little heavy right now. I definitely ain't going to make 242 for this meet because my fat ass can't lose weight. But I can't stop eating. I'm damn hungry all the time. I'm just a big growing youngin'. That's all I can say. But hungry as hell. But doing pretty good with the training. I think this will be an interesting show because the meet that I'm doing, I actually never do this federation before, so it'd be fun to do. There's actually one in Atlanta and one in Orlando the same weekend. I hope to do one in Atlanta. If they don't pan out like I want it to, then I'll definitely be heading to Orlando to do that one. It'd be a little ride, but we've done it before, and it'd be fun. My weight's been doing okay. I've been actually walking around about 247, 248. I know I probably won't make 242s, but if I can get down to about 245, I know my squat suit and my bench shirt and everything will fit me a lot better and work well. I usually can tell when I get a little bit too big, for one, I start breathing like a bulldog when I'm squatting. I'm like, oh, I can't breathe. But and then especially between squats, I'm like hovering, and I got my oxygen machine hooked up. I'm like I'm on life support or something. It's terrible. But doing the last time I squatted, it wasn't a great night. Plus, I had a lot going on too. Tomorrow's definitely going to be a lot better. I'll be more focused for it. get my opener in. The next week, work on my bench opener, and the week after that, work on my deadlift opener, and get dialed in for this meet and stuff like that. I tell you, another thing that I've been doing for the first time ever in 13 years is actually keeping up with how much it costs to do a competition. This shit is expensive as hell. I kind of had a idea how much it cost to actually train for a meet. When I told the guys, I know Big Joe, before I started training, and this is actually going to be a low ball end of how much it costs, because I actually, instead of usually do like a 12-week cycle, with the time I actually decided to do this meet, it's actually going to be like pretty much a 7-week cycle. So it's going to be a little short, and not money situation's been a little tight for me lately. Had a lot going on, so kind of low end of everything. But even with the low end of everything, it's still a lot more than I thought it would be. And so it's interesting to keep those that part of the training. I guess you could say the statistics up on that, trying to figure out how much it would be. That way, because I want to do get like a low end, and then when I train for the WPO, I'm going all out for it, son. I'll tell you what, definitely gonna pull out all the stops for it. So that'll definitely, and I want to keep up with everything. That'll definitely give me a idea of like how much on the top end it takes to train. So like, especially if I look, try to go up to a sponsor or something like that, I'm like, look, it takes me from this much to this much to be able to train and do a competition. I mean, that's just it. So it's been definitely. I didn't realize how much I spent on damn food. I mean, and I don't even eat that much. I try to eat at my parents' house all the damn time. When Mama cooks for me, I go there, and because Mama be cooking all the time. She need to cook a lot more, though, I can tell you that. But I definitely go to their house as much as possible. Definitely can't mess up on a good home cooked meal at my parents' house. But it's definitely a lot more money spent than I thought it would be, and it's still actually what's surprising is how much it I know this is how much I'm spending, but it ain't even how much I should be spending on this. So that's what's been racking my brain on that. So that's all that's been pretty cool to figure out, and all that stuff. And then we talked about before how the WPO is coming in November. It's coming back, or rising from the ashes, as they like to say. I remember when I first started powerlifting, the WPO was just like, even though it was around before I started, it was the deal, the big deal. And even when you talked about it, even when we started, it was almost like this mythical thing, the WPO, World Powerlifting Organization, pretty much where the big boys go and duke it out they see who's the best of the best. And it kind of sucked, to see it dwindle out over the years, and then it was pretty much gone. And then we really didn't, we had the pro-ams and stuff like that, which all the big guys went into. But then all of a sudden, they want to bring it back because there was this prestigious thing with all this hype and everything. So they're gonna have a shit ton of lifters invited for this one. And they're actually going to tack it on with the WPC Worlds, and it's actually going to be in Orlando, so I'll be going back to Orlando. I'm excited. It's kind of, I ain't gonna say scary, but I'm definitely I'm excited about it. It's gonna be fun. Me and Shane and Devin, we're gonna go down there. We're gonna rule ass, son. We're gonna rule ass. It's gonna be fun and everything. But another part of training sport is definitely body maintenance. The stronger you get, the more you gotta maintain your body, because the stronger you get, the more pressure and all that stuff you put it under and everything. So you definitely gotta keep your body maintenance up. I've been doing pretty decent on it. I'll admit that. As far as my massages go, we got a massage therapist in Macon, Georgia. We go to Gary Hammontree. He's been, and we'll actually be doing a interview with him later on as part of the Five Wise Men series that we're doing, because he not only has he been a massage therapist, but he's one of those that's definitely done a lot in his life. Been places, seen a lot, and has got a lot of knowledge. Definitely knows a lot of knowledge about the body and how it works, and muscles and all that stuff. And it's definitely been a blessing to have him as part of our life. Rehabbing. When I blew my knee out 5 years ago now, he's one of the biggest instrumental parts of my rehab and getting it back going and getting me back to where I needed to be, as far as my competition level and getting back and stuff like that. So having him, so I definitely try to, especially during training, I definitely see him once a week. At times, if I feel like I need it, I'll go even twice a week. And it's a lot of money, but it's money worth well spent, especially with him. Massage therapies, and of course, and then I got a lot of stuff at the house, and of course we do it at the gym. We help each other out, like with doing like Donnie Thompson's body tempering and stuff like that with the big rods and stuff, and then stretching with the bands and stuff like that. That definitely helps it a lot and keeps me mobile, so I can jump and stretch. I can touch my toes, which I don't take much anyway because I'm like 5'5", which is the technical term, but actually, that's on my birth certificate. I was born 5'5", so it is a legal binding document that I'm 5'5". No matter what the hell Joe says, he always says 5'4.5", 3/4, which is bullshit. 5'5". But yeah. One thing I have been lacking on, I'll admit, is doing like my salt baths and ice baths. The salt baths definitely help out, Epsom salt, and we actually add sea salt and baking soda. Don't know what the hell that does, but obviously it works. So, doing that, I'd actually need to, especially right here on the backside of training, need to work on that, getting that up myself, doing that. Definitely get my muscles to relax more as I'm getting on the backside of training. Ice baths for my joints and everything. I can definitely, it makes, actually what I'll do is like my ice maker, my refrigerator, and my freezer, I'll take it, the little bucket of ice, dump it in the sink, fill the sink up with water, and just stick my elbows in there for about 15 minutes. And just doing that for my elbows makes a huge difference. Huge, as Trump would say, huge difference. Makes my elbows feel a hell of a lot better and everything like that. And then of course we got little massage tools and stuff like that we can use. Like I'll actually use a rolling pin, a kitchen rolling pin, and lay on it and then roll out like my erector muscles and stuff like that. And it makes a big difference. And I got this. It's like a massage pillow. It's got two little balls in there and they spin around. And the balls got knuckles on them, so as it spins, it's digging in you. And I gotta get a new one because my damn fat ass keeps laying on it, and one of the damn balls is done stripped out. So as it spins, it's like, and then when I want to go nowhere, it's like, damn, I gotta get a new one. Anyways, but yeah. So doing that, but that helps a lot on my back and everything, especially where it stays tight all the time. That makes a big difference, and of course going to see Gary and everything. But yeah, that's definitely one thing I noticed over the years. Is the stronger I got, the more I got to put in the body maintenance, and I say that's for any lifter, raw or gear, novice or experienced. I mean, of course, novice, as you get stronger, you're putting your body through more stress. Body maintenance is definitely a key. Definitely don't leave that out as part of your training and everything. And later on, one of the supplements, from High Tech Pharmaceuticals, we sell for them, and Shane's a sponsored athlete from them. We'll definitely get more than that in another episode. One of the things I like to take that they have is what they call Semanamax, and it's a sleep aid, and it works very well. It's like you do like I'll take. Now I'm a lot different because my body reacts a little bit differently, so it takes a little bit more for me to actually feel it. But like it says take a scoop. I recommend for anybody trying it for the first time to take a quarter to a half a scoop to see how you feel off of it, and then kind of gauge it from there. But if you're having trouble sleeping, and it don't help you go to sleep, it helps you stay asleep. It helps you stay in that deep REM sleep longer. It works very well. I don't take it every day. I take it on my, of course, I work night shift, so I sleep during the day. So I'll take it that morning when I get off work, and on the training days, and then like on my off when I'm not training, like Tuesdays, Thursdays, I'll take like melatonin and stuff like that. It helps out a little bit. But this stuff, I really believe in it. We've done it for a long time. It works very well, and I sleep real good. Almost sleep a little bit too good. I mean, some people we've heard piss the bed before they sleep so damn good. Now my mom, she's taken it before, and I know it gave her like a quarter of a scoop, and like she woke up like drunk the next day. But I mean, not in a bad way, but it's just a little woozy. It just affects people differently. I guess it might affect women a little bit differently. I guess because of smaller frames and everything. Shane, when he takes it, I know he only takes a little bit because it reacts to him pretty well. For me, I take like I've taken up to 2 scoops before, and I get crazy with it. I'll hit a shot of NyQuil with it too, and I knock the F out. Which I do not recommend doing because it's not made to go with stuff like that. It actually works well on its own. I'm just crazy as shit and get a little weird sometimes. But anyway, I like to party. But it's a good product. Definitely, if you're having sleep problems or problems staying asleep, everybody that I've known that has had that they've liked it, and they would recommend it to anybody. But definitely, I would if you do try it out. I suggest starting with a quarter scoop to a half a scoop, seeing how you sleep off that and how you feel when you wake up. I would also just to make sure you don't have like a I ain't gonna say a groggy feeling, but like a euphoric feeling when you wake up. I'd take it on the day when you ain't gonna work the next day, and you ain't gonna wake up early, so you ain't gonna take the chances of of course going to work, waking up late and missing, being late for work and everything, which, it just depends on how your body reacts to it. Of course, everybody's different, but I love it. I'm fixing to take some here in a second, and I'm going night, and hopefully gonna have a good squat day tomorrow. But yeah, and I'm just about getting hungry again. I just ate a damn sandwich. I ate a sandwich right before I started this. Earlier, we went after the movie. We went and ate Mexican. I had some steak tacos. Before that, I had chicken and dumplings at Shane's house from Cracker Barrel. That shit's delicious, by the way. Y'all, I suggest that. Go and get some chicken and dumplings from Cracker Barrel if you ain't never had none. Good stuff. And then before that, I ate earlier today too. But yeah. And that's pretty much it. And hopefully we'll be working on the 5 Wise Men series pretty well. We'll have a sit-down interview with all 5 of the guys, and then actually have all five of them come together and pretty much be the most epic podcast you've ever heard in your life. I mean, these 5 people, for me and Shane, have been the most knowledgeable and just helped us out not only in our lifting life, but just as life as well. Just had so much input on life and everything, and it definitely I'm very interested to see what they have to say, especially when we put them all together, and they pretty much can probably solve all our world's problems and everything. But yeah, and that's been pretty much it. But I'm definitely about to hit some of this Max up, and I'm going to bed. And I will see y'all later. All right.